And congratulations on making it to the UFC. Obviously, it's been kind of a long, winding journey to get here, but now that that's a reality, what's the emotion like for you?
Uh, every fight is so big. This one obviously is huge because it means I can continue this dream of a career that I'm having. But honestly, it just feels similar to like maybe it hasn't really settled in. I don't know, and maybe I'm not that much of an emotional guy. But you know what? Every single fight I win after, there's not a sense of relief. There's not a sense of joy. It's just like, oh, I got more work to do now. Like I know where my skills are at, and I know where I want to be. So I just know how much more work I got to put in for the next step.
How challenging, I guess, have the last few years for you been, right? I mean, you're at a top-level organization. It kind of goes away. There's uncertainty. How challenging was that period for you to stay focused and stay committed to the dream?
Yeah, honestly, for me, that's not the difficulty. It's the uncertainty, because when you're not in a major, the world is rough. Especially right now, the MMA game is tough out there, and for a guy who's skilled, nobody wants to fight you. You know, the money's rough. So it's a testament to my coaches, my team, and my family for sticking with me through that. Because I'm going to do the work. You know, that's easy for me. It's what I love to do. But people truly supporting me and believing in me through these years has been something that you could never even come close to paying back.
That's awesome. I don't know how much of the show you watch, but Dana White has oftentimes said, like, look, I'm not looking for 35-year-old contenders. You know what I mean? So What was your mindset coming in of thinking, like, I could go out and just put on the most greatest performance ever, and he could just be like, nah, dude's too old?
When it comes to stuff like this, I'm that guy. You know, I will do something crazy. And I'm not crazy in my life, you know? I hang around. I do nothing. I train. But when I'm in the cage, something is weird, you know? Something mad happens. Like, have you guys seen a guy get chopped up like that? Front kick to the face, his leg is chopped up. It's nuts. My last fight, people are telling me, oh, you broke the guy's leg. I'm like, nobody breaks a guy's leg. If the guy sends an x-ray, his leg's broken, you know? I just had belief that when I'm in there, something crazy is going to happen.
Nice. Last thing for me, I know you said you're kind of processing, let us again, but what is the plan now, right? I mean, you don't have 10 years probably in front of you or whatever, so it's just like, we got to go as fast as possible?
That's exactly it. I told Dana, run me, you know? I want to work. I told them Paris. If Faris Zayam's opponent still needs a guy, I'm the guy. October 18th in Vancouver, I was born there. I'll fight there for sure. So that's the plan, is just to work as hard as I can and to get to where I want to be.
Congratulations on the win.
Yeah.
Is the rat garbage moniker completely gone, or what's up?
Maybe it's like an alter ego or something. The website's still up. People can still buy things on my merch. Maybe that's my brand, and then my nickname is something else. I don't know. We're still figuring it out. But if people want to call me that still, it's fine. I don't. I'm sure my parents are happy that I'm no longer called rat garbage.
I mean, but you got to have Bruce Buffer say it at least one time, right?
I'll go with whatever he wants. I don't care.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mandel, right over here. You had the first finish of the night. I'm sure you probably felt good about that, but was there a lot of anxiety going back and having to wait out those last couple fights to see if you would indeed get that contract?
It's a funny thing. Like, when I got the finish, you know, it's different than other fights to a degree, because you're like, oh, I won. Like, that's good. But then you're like, that's not what I came here to do, right? There have been guys who come here and they win a boring fight and nothing happens in their career. Like, maybe they're worse off for it, in a weird way. So once we were sitting on those director chairs, I was like, oh yeah, there's more that has to happen for me to actually have a good night. And it kind of puts you in competition with the dudes you were just shaking hands with and being like, congratulations. But no, like, I was pretty sure I had done enough. Who knows?
And tonight was your fifth first round finish in a row. After that fight in 2023 against Piccolotti, is there anything that changed, anything that kind of helped you hit this new stride that you seem to be on right now?
Yeah, honestly, I'll never forget on the drive back from that venue to the airport, the California Hills, George called Firas, and I spoke to him, and George just gave me some advice about how to fight properly. Like, I'm a guy who's always had skills. You ask anybody who's been in the gym with me, they'll say, I'm a top-level fighter, I should be in the UFC, I should be world champion. But I've never really been able to show that in the cage. And I will say that George's advice really stuck with me, and then just really recommitting to being a student and trusting in Firaz's game plans and not being smarter than my coach. You know, he's the person I put in that position for a reason. So just those things, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. It was lucky in a way, because when I was fighting when I fought against Piccolotti, I was getting like one fight a year because their roster was big and the amount of shows they put on was small. So like if you are injured for one offer, then you maybe won't even fight that year. So I was able to actually fight more frequently than I ever have, because I was just like, they were like, oh, there's a random fight in Mexico. I was like, okay, I'll go to Mexico, you know? So that's another thing that helped.
And now taking, my last question, by the way, but taking all those people into consideration, thinking about all your coaches, basically your support system overall, how does it feel to bring this victory back to them tonight?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I would have done this alone, I would have, it would be a pretty miserable existence. So being able to share this with everybody and giving everybody the credit that they deserve is huge for me.
Mandel right here. So before this fight, you talked about focusing on new skills ahead of the fight. Do you feel like you were able to show some of those new skills off, or did the fight go a little bit too quick for you to really get to show those?
That's classic Mango. That's front kicks to the face, chopping leg kicks, jab. Nobody saw anything new from me, but trust me, we're working on stuff. We're in the lab, so don't worry about that.
So you saw those celebrations at the TriStar dorms tonight. You've been there for years, surrounded by guys like GSP, Firas Zahabi, Ayman Zahabi. Just how does it feel now? You're kind of like a little bit of a legend over in those dorms. You're kind of known as one of the best fighters in that gym. How does it feel to see those guys celebrate your win?
It's really cool. You know, our good friend Robbie Stein, who's been at TriStar forever, behind the scenes, he set up a watch party, and it's like amazing to see Joe Duffy, who I remember cornering before he retired. They're celebrating my win and my acceptance into the UFC. So it's like, it's a little bit surreal actually, seeing that room celebrate. Where I have interviews there with Chuck O'Neal, who fought in the UFC, you know, ages ago, when I was 19, and now I'm here. It's pretty crazy.
So last one for me. People are going to be confused when they go to your Instagram. It's definitely a bit confusing. Like, it's not a fighter's Instagram, you know? Explain, what is Rat Garbage? What do you do with your merch and your designs? Just explain that a little bit.
It's hard to explain, but how many more MMA fighters' profiles do you guys need to see where a guy's got a nice haircut and a well-shaped beard and he's hitting pads? You've seen it. You know, you've seen it at the top level. Elio Topuri, go to his profile. You don't need to see the next guys. He's the same. You know, if you want to see something a little more left field, come to my Instagram, go to the website, buy a shirt, buy a jacket. You'll look good. I care about what we do. We love you. Rat Garbage loves you.
Congratulations, Mandel.
Just one for me. I heard you saying there that obviously people back home have been saying you're UFC caliber and you're UFC ready, but you feel you couldn't quite show it in the cage when you wanted to. So we've heard of stories and seen stories of athletes in different sports where they feel like they have the capacity to be at the top level of the sport, but they just can't show it. Does this take like a mental toll during your career, and you know, has this kind of affected you mentally up until this point?
No, but luckily for me, I have a lot of self-dialogue, and I try to talk myself through things. And I know where I was weak and where I was not performing, and my support system as well. We decompress after every fight, and we try to understand, not just from a skill standpoint where we lost, but mentally and in the preparedness before the fight, what we could have done better. So I was never upset about it, but there are always creeping moments when you're going to sleep, you know, last night, where it's like, could this be another flub from Mango? Not today. Not this time.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All good? Thank you, guys.